All right, while everyone just hopiums about whether we're going to get a Red Bull Wall, I'm going to hopium that this is a good game because Phyllis Bodo is playing the Byzantines, and I kind of know the type of player. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. Are we being scammed here? Phyllis Bodo typed, I can't macro to save my life, so it's not, it's not a boom game. Do you guys remember those Philly games we watch where he builds like 3 TCs and doesn't come out of his base as the Mongols? Dude, I think we're being scammed. All right, we'll find out. We've got Rus versus Byzantines because Philly wants to prove me wrong that Byzantines can beat Rus in the late game, which I never said they couldn't. I just said I don't think Varangian is the way. A lot of players right now go to the late game Byzantines and they default to the idea that Varangian is just how you win. The problem with Varangian is, to me, they peak in like late castle. They've got some viability via the extra movement speed at the beginning of Imperial Age. But as the game goes on, it just seems more and more obvious that Limitane are still the beast they once were. Especially in matchups involving gunpowder units. Opening-wise, let's go see how this one begins. We're going to hit the fast forward just to the opening age. Philly didn't go for a second scout at all. Kind of interesting here. Tanker did not go for a third scout, which I think there's kind of a split debate on this. Some players do prefer the 2 scout. Some actually really like the 3 scout. So I'm not going to say this is wrong. In some maps, it actually makes a lot of sense. And I think to a certain degree, it's kind of predictable where the deer spawn. They aren't really going to spawn in the center of the map, right? So you know it's going to be on the outer proportions. So in a way, you kind of can get away with just 2 scouts. But you have to remember, the flip side argument is your opponent also knows that the spawns are kind of predictive like that, right? So it should be much easier for them to deny out. Looks like we're getting Imperial Hippodrome, though. This doesn't surprise me. Phyllis Bodo has been building more hippos than I did in Zoo Tycoon as a kid. This guy is obsessed with Hippodrome right now. He believes it's the way. He also tends to believe System of the First still is the way, which, you know, straight out of NA. Whoop, whoop. I guess Soldier's done it in tournaments, but someone needs to take over and carry that baton for him at the moment. So I'm wondering if Philly actually still believes in System of the First Hill, or has finally seen the light. Because I genuinely think Golden Horn Tower is way too good to pass up in its current format. So take up complete. Merc House now on the way. He's already been gathering in the olive. Remember, this is pretty typical whenever you see people doing this build where they actually go for the Hippodrome. Makes sense to move out to the olive oil early. This was something discovered very early on by, I believe, the 2 leads for it were Louis and B that I saw doing it most frequently. It's a very powerful play as it aligns your timing. And it makes the most sense if you're going for Keshiks. Because what happens is whenever you go Keshiks, dude, I'm on it. The reason it works pretty well with Keshiks, you have to think of this Keshik timing a bit like a French player going for his School of Cavalry. He wants that first knight out as quickly as possible. You're doing the same thing here. You're aligning your tech up timing with your mercenary unlock. And it makes the most sense with this Civ as opposed to alternatives. Like Lombos, Javelins, they are valuable, but they don't need to be there as quickly. And quite often, if you're going those choices, you're going to be going for Ground Winery. So you're definitely not rushing it. TC's coming up in the back, though, in the meantime. Tanker, we haven't really talked about this player yet. We're all familiar with Phyllis Bodo, prolific, disgusting, vile Mongol spammer turned Byzantine player. But despite all the Byzantine spamming he's been doing, his AoE4 profile still says that he's a Mongol main. On the other side of this, Tanker is decent ranked, right? So I think Philly is sitting 182nd right now from just playing Byzantines, which, I mean, Byzantines are OP, mate. We've got to get you up to top 10. On the other side of it, I'm just double-checking his rank now. Tanker is 1,645 elo, so about rank 184. So a pretty balanced match between the two. That's still top 200 in the world. I know a lot of people just jump on like, but it's not Dumu, but it's not Beastie. Sure, but those players don't typically bring you the next wave of builds. They will optimize, and they will make meta what has been discovered, but usually you're looking just outside the top 100, maybe sometimes the top 200, to find these people that might just be onto something that's borderline broken. So Philly has opened with the Keshiks, already raiding around the mid-map. It's difficult though, right? Like, the whole idea of the Keshik contract seems nice in theory, but the problem against the Rus is that they just go 2 TC condensed. While you can deny them equity on the map, you can't actually attack them. It's so difficult to dive Rus. Not just because of the Kremlin itself, but because their ability to spawn the gremlins that counter you, right? That's another one that makes this build quite peculiar from Philly. I don't rate the Hippodrome that highly here in this matchup because of this detail. Even if your opponent is playing 1 TC all-in, he's going to play Knights. Knights Keshiks, if Keshiks have numbers advantage, they'll win. But like, it should be very difficult to stop a Roost player getting the gold and food required to get more knights than you, especially with a spawn like this. The other thing that makes this kind of a little bit awkward is that you've opened Keshiks, but I'd argue you haven't really taken anything away from the Roost player. And it's not Philosboto misplaying his contract. I think it's just this is one of the hardest matchups to make this contract work. Because the Kremlin almost always secures the second TC. So you just don't have an in, right? And what kind of scammed him even more is that Tanke got a really good spawn. He got stone, berries, and deer on one screen. Now, the negative is that means your gold's not guarded, and actually he's already compensated for that with the Fortress. Very expensive investment. The reason he's doing this is because he wants to go Knights early, and he wants to get his eco upgrades. Funnily enough, if he didn't go Knights, he would be able to afford his eco upgrades over time via a good bounty haul, and then just some hunting cabin play, right? Of which he has 2, generating him almost 40 gold, over 40 gold rather a minute. So that's not a bad pacing to get into your techs, especially considering you got wheelbarrow so early, but it's happening, guys. Jesus Christ, this guy. Well, it's a good thing it's got System in the first hill, because you know what I do when I see System in the first hill? I gulp as well. I basically pour out a double shot of my hanky banister whiskey, and then I gulp it.
This landmark is such a meme. Philly, what happened? You used to be on top of the world with Mongols. Look at what Relic has reduced you to. The first hill. Oh, God. Well, guys, before we discredit him, let's keep in mind, this is the Byzantines, so they're still broken, even if you don't take their eco advantages. Philly, I do have to talk about a certain something, though. No, he's connected. Okay. Yeah, it's just because it's waiting to connect on the side, right? Alright, we're going to hit the fast forward. I can already see, like, despite him saying, like, he's not a boomer, the problem is the Roost players made him a bit of a boomer. Right? He had no choice but go Castle Age. Honestly, you should be rushing towards Relics here, I think, in this position. Like, you've already got Keshiks, you've got Cataphracts. Relics should be your #1 priority because your opponent already has an eco lead, right? So you need to take that away from them somewhere else, and Relics is the way to do it. Knights are going to make it a little bit more annoying. And funnily enough, actually, Tanke is moving for more of an all-in approach. I'm not a big fan of what he's doing here. Massing Spears and Archers, when your opponent has Hippodrome and hasn't activated Triumph, is a recipe for disaster. And in fact, it looks like we have got Triumph Flare coming in now, right? No. I don't know why that acted like... Oh, it was the count-up, wasn't it? My brain. Sorry, I'm food coma. So Raid's going to come in. Okay, so the idea of Gulp is kind of intriguing for this, breaking a wooden fortress. But if you ever find yourself in a position where you have to break a wooden fortress with 5 cavalry, you've got bigger, more depressing problems in the game, right? And Arafat, I mean, it's not working on the Keshiks at all. Like, it's kind of looking comical how little damage they're doing because they're attacking the Cataphract instead. I'm a bit perplexed by that choice. You've got more chance of actually killing a Keshik than you have of killing a Kata. I guess he feels like he needs to address it eventually. Gremlins are going to be pulled. Philly. So stupidly done. Oh my god.
No, I'm not going to say it works. I refuse to say the system of first hill works. Oh my god. I mean, Tanky's trading is the thing here, right? That's why it's working right now. He's trying to go after his opponent. Love the fact he targets out the aqueducts. A lot of players won't do this. And he hates the sight of the landmark so much he immediately starts burning it. This is what we would call a very suboptimal target. You're not going to kill a 5k structure here. You're better to attack. Unfortunately, seeing as he's only got 7 Feudal Spearmen, he doesn't want to take on the 5 Cataphracts that can gulp their way to glory. There's no way he's winning this. I want to call Philly wrong, but like this is actually working. And it hurts me. It really hurts me. Triumph has been activated as well. All of a sudden, even with just swords out, Kata's going to 2-hit non-textile villages. Oh my... Well, actually, they do anyway, right? Yeah, so either way, you're losing these villies. I can't... There's just the pluses everywhere. Like, imagine how disorienting this is to tank. It's like, what do I target? What do I kill? Like, is this one gulping? Is that one? Is it Triumph? Oh my god. Keshiks plus Cataphracts, and Philisberto is actually making it work. Wait, you aren't. No, that's not. He's going to spend this, guys. There's no way you rush Imperial Age here. You won't have any economy if you rush Imperial Age. So he's playing for the relics now, like we wanted to. And it's a good timing, actually. I said he needed to get into this, and good patience comes out from Philisberto here. He waits until he forces the fight against the Knights, and now Tanky has no sort of roam potential on the map. Not just that, Tanky's in bigger trouble. It turns out he's not very tanky after all. I'm sorry, I had to make that joke. Gulp's coming out again. Oh, that's interesting. So he's... Wait, is he just out of flasks? Okay, hear me out. What if you could buy more flasks? No, that'd be broken. It's a hard thing to use regularly, right? Because of how quickly you can exhaust them with these dives. Keshiks is definitely a cool idea, though, for this strategy. I feel like a lot of the time I see Lombos or Javelins, but if you think about it, the logic behind Keshiks here is that they already heal themselves, right? So then you get more sustained heal. So you get the plus from attacking, then you get the plus from Triumph, and then you get the plus from Gold. So Cataphracts are difficult to kill. They won't die fast. And Keshiks and Clutch save themselves with those details. Back to the burning.
Philly, what are you doing to the game? Philly, you're going to get Byzantines buffed again.
People are going to watch this video and then try to play System of the First Hill, and then it's going to tank the win rate of Byzantines. Oh, no. Well, I've got to say, credit to you, Philly, but there's some criticism points here from Tanky. Tanky tried to go Knights quite delayed, and then he tried to follow up Archer Spears after seeing a tech up. I don't agree with that choice. I actually think the most logical approach here would have just been to go Castle and build Spears to defend in the meantime. So he tried to punish you for a tech up, but the problem is he's already done his own greed. Like, this is a trade-off. Philly goes Hippodrome, he gets less scalability into late game. You go 2TC. You've made your greed at an earlier point than the Byzantine player. What Tanky done here is the atypical expectation. We talk about this all the time, that if you tech up second, you need to punish the firster. The problem is, this guy wasn't just a firster, he was a firsty boy. And between the System of the First Hill and the Triumph, it created this weird dynamic on 1TC that made Philly stronger, not weaker. And you know, this is another interesting thing about specifically the Byzantines that other civs can't really rival. That production rate is what allowed him to do this. The eco-gathering increase, plus the production rate to actually get the initial Cataphracts out, you have to realize the absurdity of the Byzantines. Producing Cataphracts in 25 seconds, that's quicker than the French get their Knights out. And your Knights are better. Pretty wild when you think about it that way. Oh, this from Philly, actually. This is really cool. He's using Trapezites. Trapezites is a really powerful ability and critically underrated, especially once you're in Castle Age. The scalability on your torch damage is so high. And actually, it's a smart play specifically up against the Rus. If he didn't go for this, he wouldn't have a way of burning through these walls. He'd just be stuck. So great read actually coming out from there, boy. And Tanky has finally got the spin together. Philly, however, is he going for Imperial? It's Palatine School. I already know what he's doing. This is going to be the Cataphract spam, guys. so Tanky's finally going into Castle Age, but Philly's going to be going to Imperial, so he's staying an age ahead. I am quite impressed by his ability to just do this with Cav. There's definitely some things that Tanky could have done better, but I don't feel like Philly has stepped out of line so far, right? He keeps forcing idle time, wasting the attention of his opponent. Behind this, he's making a 5-relic game. The only negative, I think this is one of the downsides actually of having to go Hippodrome here. While your Keshiks get value in some forms, they lose value in others, which is at this point in the game, if you had gone for Grand Winery, you'd be able to scale a lot more Keshiks, right? It would come at a cost, though. And that cost would have been that dive that reset Tanky. That took him from
looking like he'd be 30, 40 villages ahead, to now only being 20 villages ahead and an entire age behind. We should be able to trample through the walls. Guys, how about... Okay, hear me out, hear me out. Magadai underpowered. Let's let them jump walls. No, okay, I'm going to stop. Dude, if they made that change so that Magadai could hop walls, Philisberto would resign from Byzantines immediately. So wraparound raid coming in. You know, the interesting thing to me about Philly's strategy here is that this would work a lot better against any other Civ. And that's not to say it hasn't worked, but that's to tell you, like, the potency this potentially has. Because you have to remember, like, the Rus, it's not the Gremlins, it's actually the defenses. The wooden fortresses protect a lot more your economy. Same with the Kremlin. Most Civs won't have this layer of protection if they go 2TC. This doesn't work against any Civ. I mean, it does if you get to this point, Faye. You shouldn't get to this point, I agree, but, like, if you get to this point... If your opponent missteps, like Tanky did, like that's what I'm trying to highlight, is like the Rus handle the lashback of this better because of all the defense points, right? Like the wooden fortresses everywhere, like you can play pocket ecos in a way other teams can't. But you are correct in that his opponent had the possibly the worst reaction to the tech up that he could have done. If your opponent's AFK, anything can work? That's not true. I'm sorry. Wait, are you going to fall back on Magadai? Because, say, I'm going to fact check you. Do I need to remind you of that Corvinus HRE game? He HRE AFK'd. Philly, now switching to Varangian. So, here's the kind of broken thing about Palatine School. Palatine School is really, really dumb and actually very badly balanced. I'm sorry, I probably should explain more. Palatine School is RNG. There is a 30% chance to spawn one of your unique units anytime you build one. This was not cleverly thought out from a design perspective. The reason it wasn't is because that means that you can actually keep rolling and coming up with sixes. What I mean by that is you can keep RNGing to a victory. Like, realistically, Philisberto could queue up 10 Varangian and get 20. Statistically, that shouldn't happen. But there will be a game occasionally where it will occur. And it is very broken to do that. Even with Varangian, like the savings you get there, all of a sudden that's a 1,300 resource rebate on your tech up. Do it with Cataphracts, you get 10 in a row. Jesus Christ, that's a 3,300 tax rebate. Kind of broken when you think about it that way. This did not look broken though, Philly. What the f... That was so painful to watch that I had to analyze something else not to focus on it. Running into spears and gremlins may not be the cleanest way to keep the Katas alive. In fairness, he's switching Varangian. But, gonna do that flip side argument thing again. Your opponent's already started building crossbows. You are at least gonna be an age ahead. What I see right now is kind of problematic from Philly. I mean, you've got age advantage. Just build a Mangonel or two. Mangonels and Varangians wins this game. People keep trying to make Cataphracts a thing. And in a way, they will eventually succeed, Wraith, because what will happen is they will get buffed. And therefore, the Cataphracts will have been made a thing. It's cyclical. Alright, we're going to hit the speed up. Philly now just trying to get the full wall in. Wait. Wait. No. Like, there's... Oh, it always hurts when I watch this. So Tanky seems to think this is a full wall, but actually he should be able to tell that it's definitely not. Cataphracts do need a buff. Agreed. The problem is you need to be careful about the way you buff Cataphracts,
because technically they have the potential to be fully broken, right? Like the pop efficiency of this unit, if you manage to somehow, some way get 70 of these together and trample through an enemy army, it's just, I mean, you flatten them like a pancake. It's ridiculous, right? So that's one issue I take with the idea of like buffing cataphracts. You have to be so careful because this is a perfect example of a unit that can go from being dog crap to completely broken with the tiniest of tweaks. It's not raid through. Philly's actually getting some good value out of the remaining cataphracts. Tanky is only 12 villages ahead at the stage, which is nothing in the grand schemes of things when you're still an entire age behind. How's the farm count looking as well? I think they are seeing only 17. Other side of this, Philosbo, only 11. So he does have issues of his own. This is, by the way, why a lot of people would not rush Imperial Age. Because the negative of doing so is you just don't have any food to now build either of these units en masse. Palatine School kind of offsets that problem a little bit. But once again, as I said, when you do a build like this where you rush the age, it's very RNG. Frangian wave now coming in. Lee armor tactics on the way. Tanky should be able to hold this though with the crossbows. Yeah, Philly definitely misclicked, guys. There's no way he play anything but Mongols. Don't open his data. You'll vomit. He's still playing Mongols. Oh, wait, that's right. No. You're wrong. He's now playing Abbasids. Oh, my God. Phil's bow is like a transformer, dude. You never know what he is. I imagine in a lot of these games where he tries this cataphract build, he looks like a toaster, actually. Like, I'm curious, because here's the thing. Like, not to discredit Tanky, like I said, top 200 is good. But I've noticed that Philisbodo doesn't send me replays against, like, a Lucifron or a Beast. So I'm wondering, you know, FaZe kind of hit it on the money, right? It's like, the way this build worked probably shouldn't work. It definitely came down to Tanky's mistake. But always what I like to point out in these type of situations, it might require a mistake to take advantage of something, but it also still requires you taking advantage of it, right? And, you know, in that regards, Philisbodo made the right move. You think Biz is one of those civs that has so many options you can't balance them all at the same time? I mean, it has a bigger issue if you think about it. It's very difficult to balance Byzantines because of the way they integrate into other civilizations. If Gulams are OP, then Byzantines can be OP. If Keshiks are OP, then Byzantines can be OP. If Javelins are OP, then Byzantines can be OP. And apparently trade is OP. Wait, when did this start? 28 traders? Are you trying to lube up for the Keshik count? Like,
What is this game?
you're Imperial and trade booming, and you're just getting aped by spearmen and crossbowmen. Oh my god. He doesn't have an army. I mean, 18th ranking does not really count here, especially when he decided to go raiding and got spotted doing so. What a move out of Tanky. Now going into the main. Oh, this game is so messy and it's beautiful. Nice, now rotating. I can't believe he tried to start trading this early. I mean, dog, you've got 12k gold over here alone. This felt like it may have been a little bit too soon. I kind of get where Philly's coming from, and it's that Tanky was playing very defensive. So Philly's expectation, I think what Philly was aiming for was the idea that Tanky would try to go Imperial before moving out because of how he played the game so far. So I feel bad for Philly because in a way there is logic in his choice in that his opponent has been quite defensive and it's reasonable to expect him to just try and age up, right? But this is a great read by Tanky. Going on the offensive instead of just camping at home and playing late game. Now, he's still going to be able to get to that late game gradually. You can already see the resources saving up because the problem right now for Philisbodo is he doesn't want to fight this. Because running head on into this many crossbows and spearmen is the definition of death. The Mongol instincts took over. You're looking about as successful as Mongol Silver Tree on this map right now. Jesus. 8 traders at 28 minutes ain't exactly booming.
Credit to him, though. The funny part about this is despite the fact Philly has no trade really left over, he now has the eco lead. And it's all because these Cata raids, right? Like a group of Spearmen chasing them around. Cataphracts may be slow and kind of pathetic in some ways, but the Spearmen very much struggle to gap close, let alone kill, right? Because it's just so much raw HP to get through. And Philly now switching into archers. Oh, is this the argument he wanted to give me about why you can beat Roos in late game with archer spears? So very big difference on this map, Philosberto, compared to the map that I was comparing it to. You have double the wood you'd have on Rocky River. This is not a good measurement compared to Rocky River. Because Rocky River, you have to play a bit more budgeted on wood because it runs out very quickly in the late game anyway. Which is why I like Limitane Javelins or Limitane Lombos, even Limitane Streltsy yourself. But yes, on a map like this, going archers makes a lot of sense. I mean, also, you already have so much justification. Your opponent built crossbows and spears. Of course you're going to archers, right? And, you know, you're not going to go for Rangin anymore because you have no cost. Not the trade. Steam Flash coming in. Crossbow spears sounds to me like I need to make more traders. No, dude. No. It's just Roos Castle Age, right? I do think Castle Age is like one of the weirdest points in the game for Roos. If they can't spam knights, they just don't have a unique identity because horse archers is memes, right? Like, it's kind of a weird point in the game for the Roos. They're usually so dominant in Feudal and Imperial, though, that you kind of glaze over it, right? Because they also blitz for it. They do a lot of damage in Feudal Age or Rush Castle, and then just look to kind of boom up. How dare I say horse archers are a meme? They don't have the jump over wall ability, Faye. They're definitely a meme. Gallop should allow you to hop. Alright, so tech up's complete on both sides. Philly's going to try to strike down the center now. We have got the switch up into Limitane plus Frankia. So outside the archers, he's basically building everything that he has a 30% chance of getting a second one on. It's quite an interesting strategy. If right now you're trying to justify his comp and say, wow, this is really like, this is optimal, what I would highlight is this is more a necessity because Philly doesn't have great food income yet. And it's going to take a little bit longer to get great food income. Because after losing all the traders, he's decided to, around 30 minutes in this game, build 2 extra TCs. Which, remember, is now going to put his food drain per minute up to 450. Dive coming in. Tanke. This is usually a weak point for the Roos. We see this time and time again. When they try to convert into Streltsy, very long production time. So you give an edge over to your opponent unless you have a standing army already. Now, Tanke does have that standing army. He just needs to get it involved. Hopefully coming in. This should be enough to push Philly away. But Philly has bought time, and very vital time for that, right? Like, he's trying to get the full farms online. Count is now up to 58. This is where the numbers should boom. However, that involves remembering that horticulture is a tech. Yep. That's happening this game. Philly's just going like full old school farmers. Like, how can you feel the crops growing if you use a scythe? I feel like I'm watching quite a few Byzantine players do this at the moment. Not that it's optimal, I'm saying it's just a very easy thing to glance over. I've noticed that Numadon has this issue a lot, especially. Yeah, kind of crazy to think actually how much better his economy would have been in the last few minutes if he had those techs in time, right? I'm going to guess Philosberto got distracted scaling trade and kind of blanked on the food. Man goes, oh my god! The fact that he's even allowed to do this against a Roos player is absurd. Are you kidding me? Wow. So Tanke, not looking so tanky. I'll stop making that joke eventually. He just gets walloped down. I mean, in fairness, I don't think you really want crossbows in late game, you want Streltsy, but throwing away this many Streltsy feels terrible. And also the mangoes as well. Nice chase pass. This is the thing that I find a bit absurd about Limitane. 1.44 movement speed due to teardrop shields feels way too good. I actually think they should probably change the way shield wall works in general.
The thing I said before that would probably be a fair way of doing it is just basically making it activatable for several seconds. The alternative I could see here to make teardrop shields in particular more balanced is maybe you remove the attack speed malice, but you keep the movement speed. You don't change the movement speed anymore on them. It is kind of a cop-out because Varangian's already getting an attack speed increase because of that, but it makes a hell of a lot more sense than spears that move this quick. Like, this is absurd if you think about it, because not even HRE spears move this quick. Like, look at them. Like, I'm going to hit the speed up a bit. I have a feeling we've still got quite some ways to go in this game. Philly is now getting ready for a full Archer switch, guys. He's queued up in Snare Arrows. Hasn't even actually got the elite status yet. Best unit in the game, you keep telling people? Well, I mean, Varangian's the best unit in the game. Because of the timing. Because Limitane can't really end the game in Castle Age. They can define the game in Imperial, but Varangian can end the game in Castles. Varangian, the reason why Varangian is the best unit Byzantines have is because it follows the same base logic as why men-at-arms spam is really, really strong if your opponent is behind you in age, right? Like, if you think about it, the Byzantines with just 3 Raxes matches the pace you get out of a Burgrave. That's pretty bonkers. Was now going up from Philly. All right, we're going to hit the 2 times for sure. This is definitely going to slow down. So Philly doesn't really have the fuel to keep pushing right now. He needs to get a big army ready to go. And that's going to buy some critical time for Tanky. You could already see him setting up for the Streltsy. If Philly really wants to take this approach where he goes archers, he needs a lot more in production. He has not got enough archery ranges for that. Are you kidding me? This trade. Well, the good news is, once again, Teardrop Shield is broken. Why is Shield Wall not an actual wall? I know, right? Make it a formation. Replace Wedge formation. How does Tanky now win this? Well, his comp's a bit warped at the moment. He needs to make sure he controls the siege game. If he controls the siege game, this is fairly easy to just do Streltsy Spear into, right? Because the Streltsy are the MVPs. One thing that is a little bit rough is because Philsbo now has settled on the Limitane, the value of Palatine School in my eyes is bad. Especially in this game. Like, Philsbo is apparently allergic to olive oil. Dude, he's got enough olive oil in reserve that this would actually be the perfect wedding present to exchange your daughter in one of those. What's it called? Dowries. This would be a perfect Italian dowry for an arranged marriage. Like, this is absurd. I mean, sell it. Like, actually just sell it. I guess he's not getting that good of an exchange. You know, genuinely just... I can't believe I'm going to say it. Build... Is elephants in this contract? It's elephants in this contract, right? Just build tower elephants. Like, please. It's 5k olive oil. You might as well. In fact, you could even argue Ghoulems to a certain extent. I mean, they're still going to die quite quick to Streltsy, but if they touch anything, they're going to kill it quicker, right? And it's free units. Like, that's the way I'm viewing this right now, is he has so much olive oil, it's free. Spiral's now coming in, and this is why mangoes will not work for Philly. Oh, backstab coming in. The problem is, like, this is the thing about Limitane, right? They're very fast. They don't get a lot of damage up against siege. In fact, if Tanky just gets siege works, I don't see a way in which he loses the back line. It should be impossible. Well, archer numbers are starting to scale up. Mango hits coming in big. That's probably the worst way you can try to dive into a Mango. When you're running past the enemy line, you're getting stabbed, but you're also clustering a troop. So a good exchange there. Spirals aren't going to catch up again. Tanky starting to push into the main. Problem now is going to be the split on the landmarks here. It's not very easy to chase these down when you're trying to dive the center like this. In fact, you can see this awkward situation as the Berserk comes on the back, finds the siege. And the problem you're kind of seeing right now is that Tanky has essentially walked into a sandwich in which he's a very thin slab of meat on a big loaf of bread. You got production left side. You got production right side. Like, you pretty much just walked into an ambush. Tanky needs to slow down. Streltsy mass, pretty much where it needs to be. Like, 40, I'd say, is critical mass. Usually when I see a player go past 40 Streltsy, it's a death sentence because you just don't have enough front line. So you usually give about 40 of those. One thing I'm not crazy about now is you're seeing your opponent is switching into Varangian and Archers. If it's no longer Limitane, you shouldn't be doing Spearmen, you should be doing Horsemen. Horsemen are more efficient from a tank standpoint per population. When you've got Boys 42 plus Biology, you're going to last a lot longer than Mass Spears will. And also, because your opponent's going Archers, you then counter them, right? Whereas in this situation, what you're allowing your opponent to do is clear your front line quickly, and then it's going to be a flood of Archers plus Limitane to the back. This is getting odd. If Tanky wants to keep doing this comp, there needs to be some full production. If I had to highlight one criticism I can give over a lot of games we've watched today, when you get to this late game, not moving your production forward is a big mistake. There are some maps where it's excusable. So like some maps, let's say you're playing Prairie, you're not going to build a loose production building, right? Too expensive. But you're on Gorge. Gorge has more wood than Dry Arabia, or about the same actually, which is a lot of wood, right? Like actually, no one even highlights this. Like Dry Arabia actually has a lot of wood. For the most balanced map, it's an absurd amount of wood. But the fact that he's just not building a bunch of Raxus here is why he just lost 20 plus Streltsy. That is such a blunder from Tanky. Now, there are some civs that can kind of excuse that. So, like, Byzantines is one that gets away with it more because of the Cistern. Because you want to build your production in range of the Cistern, and it gets insane. But one thing I would like to point out to Byzantine players is you're not exempt from this for a BS logic of you build faster. Because if you build faster from here, imagine how impactful one Cistern here, surrounded by Raxus, would be. You'd be unstoppable, right? So across the board, every civ almost has no excuse. Like, Ottomans at least have the excuse of, oh, no, I can't because my military schools are here. Those are expensive to replace. Fair enough, Ottos. Even the Palatine school, this is someone I think I've been critical of in the past, is a lot of players when they play Byzantines, they do this with the Palatine school instead of this. And while I kind of get it in this game because you lost the forward, in a lot of cases, if you're confident you're going to have control of the game, you want your Palatine school ahead of your main base, because otherwise, 3 out of 10 of your units produced are always going to be inefficient in terms of their arrival time in a battle, right? Even if you build that proxy base. We've actually got Roost Trade now as well.
Philly, for the love of Christ, spend your olive oil.
Hey, if you show up with this much olive oil, Gordon Ramsay's going to come around and cook you something. I mean, it's absurd. Philly's like, waiting for my partner to come around. I've got all this oil to give them a massage. Okay. What makes it even more comical is the fact that he's also getting precision crossbreeding. He's like, I wonder if I could braid the UI by just getting too much olive oil. Philisbo is looking for the cheat codes that lets him build a foreign engineering company right now. This is why I say foreign engineering company is quite often better. Like, it legit would have been better this game. Because you could have built into cannons to take on the enemy's like backline, right? You could have built into a few Nesta Bs to wipe the backline. I mean, it would do something with it. Right now, it's just a number. Like, Philisbo is just preemptively prepping for World War II Italy when they get embargoed by the world. Like, this is getting absurd. Dives reaching deeper for Tanky, but Tanky really needs to get some bombards up here. He needs to start denying these landmarks. Like, he could easily force an end state game if he moves fast. But once again, we walk into the ambush point. You know, this happens once, I kind of forgive you. It happens twice, and I'm starting to think you're looking to get the main part as a protagonist in a remake of Memento. Right? Because you clearly don't have any short-term memory. You're just running into the same place, doing the same thing. What's the mercenary units? You know, that's a fair point in a game like this. Look, Philly. Look. Would you not like some arbitrary or some Sipahi? Or how about some camel archers? Okay, yeah, no, I get it. No one wants camel archers. But the others are pretty good. Well, the weird part is he just got elite status on the contracts. He's going to build elephants, isn't he? He's actually... Whoa, Philly, you told me that archers can beat Roost in the late game. You didn't say anything about archers on elephant back. Oh my god, he just queued up A. Oh no. Out of all the ways to lose a game. Alright guys, you know, bombards or archers? Well, like, you know, why split the population when you can just smush them together and have them be one? Oh my god. I cannot believe this game right now. Wait, this is great, guys. Everyone just clip this and ship it and say, look how broken Byzantines are. They can immediately just afford 8 tower elephants. So this is just going to be what? Mass Limitane and tower elephants now? It kind of works. How do I cast games for 6 hours and not have a sore throat? I usually avoid Philisberto's games. Sorry, Philly. Project your voice from your chest. I mean, I've cast 18-hour work days and I'm fine. I think Tanky's actually losing this game. Wait. No, it's fine, guys. Philisberto is about to lose his trade again. All total of 2. I somehow think Philly doesn't care about trade in this game. He should care about his population issues, though, because he can't even get these elephants out. Because remember, they take 3 populations. So if you keep queuing up all these Raxes, the Limitane get released first. So he's never losing enough units to actually spawn the elephants. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Alright, guys. First one came out. Hear me out. Hear me out. This would be super OP if he'd snuck Merc houses down here, right? Queued up all the elephants and then unleashed them. Philly, I'll do coaching for $50 an hour. We can teach you these big brain strats. Vinci coming in, Archer Limitane, so that's a lot of Streltsy going down. Tanky, he does have trade, but this is still very expensive. Like, the time to reproduce is kind of quite the slog, and he only has, what's this, 18 traders right now? Okay, 22. It looks like he's got some trading here for some reason. The trade post mercs, he could have went for Sipahi. He could have went Sipahi, he could have went Arbitrary. You go Sipahi, though, 100%. He could have went Musafadi, and he could have went Camel Archers. You 100% go Sipahi. Sipahi would have been really good here. Because, like, one of the big problems for Philly right now is he's surviving, but he's not killing. Not killing what's keeping Tanky alive, right? Like, if he just built a bunch of Sipahi from the neutral trade posts, he could raid in. Instead, Philly, I mean, I'll give it to you. You said you don't like to macro, you don't like to boom. I mean, I think you're a lying sack of crap. Holding on to 8,000 olive oil is technically macroing. It could be seen as a slight miss-macro, but it's macroing. But I'll give it to you. It's a very unique way of macroing. Tanky, misrallying a lot of troops here. So finally, we're starting to see purple break out. Similar to my Europa Universalis 4 run-throughs, the Eastern Roman Empire is rising again. You're American, we love our rule. That's the thumbnail. Oh my god. I can't, dude. There's so much olive oil. He's still got 5 more elephants queued up, and he's got 4,000 olive oil again. Jesus Christ. If the person in the Hannibal movie had rubbed this much lotion on, they would have slipped through Bill's hands. He wouldn't have been able to kill him. This is absurd. Archer's now taking out the Streltsy. And Tanke, I mean, it's going to start going downhill from here quite quickly. They're sitting on 3,500 stone. Build all the keeps you can. The oil boy is coming. Please just get some supply. Philly's like, no, no, no. I must very slowly build up the elephants. Those other 4 have been waiting to be birthed for a very long time. Their mothers have been gestating. Oh, Jesus, gestating, that's not it. Their mothers have been carrying them now for 27 months. They will be out soon. Jesus, they're starting to look more like chest bursters than naturally born elephants. Can you really afford to spam that many? Dog, look at it. You get 3 for 480 olive oil. You had 8,000 olive oil. That would have been 48 Sipahi. No, trust me, the Sipahi are really freaking good. Also, like, another thought here. 48 Sipahi, and you have a hippodrome that you forgot to use. Right? Like, it's begging for it in this game. Well, Philip said he's American, he likes his olive oil. Or, sorry, he likes his oil. He's American, he likes his oil. He's American, he likes his food. Jesus Christ. He's got 7,500 food in reserve, and he's got 100 units in reserve. Still queued up. Such an unnecessarily scrappy game. What the Tank is like, I must shut down his trade. The trade is the reason why Philly is winning. All 2 of those traders are what is killing me right now. Siege is going to be taken out. Tanky, I mean, I don't really think they've got long left in this game. No, so you don't have gold. Yeah, but you don't need it. Like, what are these? Noob, why build these? Just build these. And then build these. You know, usually this is the point where I say gun beats elephant. Not today, suckers. Oh my god. I'm surprised Tanky hasn't tapped out yet. This is becoming extremely dented. You've just queued up. Yeah, exactly. Where are the gulping triumphant elephants? I'm a little bit disappointed as well. Do you not want your +4 damage when you're 33 and 22? Come on. In H4, I think Biz plays more like America with the oil and food so high. Dude, did you just steal my joke? I incorporate yours and you steal mine? Is that how this works? Can A move Limitane into Streltsy? Yeah, like the production rate's insane. Look how quickly he produced them. 13 seconds. 13 seconds to get one of them out is ludicrous. Actually, sorry. He's a pleb. He's got Dialecticus on. If we look over here, he can spawn them every 6 seconds. Yeah, wait, let's go back to this a second, because this is very important. I'm sorry. Are you trying to increase your research speed so you can learn how to win this game? This is... Oof. I mean, bless him. It's because it's the blacksmiths, right? Oh my god. No, guys, don't flame him. This is strategic. The reason why Philisberto switched it to Dialecticus is to increase the probability that a tower elephant gets enough time to spawn. Right? This is equal rights for elephants. Tanke has somehow re-bolstered up to the same army size as Philly. KP found a way to justify. See, like, this is the thing, right? Like, I don't flame players. I give them an out. I give them way too many outs. So when you get the hate comments, like, oh, I can't believe KP thinks he knows everything. Dog, I'm covering my pro boys here.
What is this food? Just end the game.
I mean, this takes the whole statement playing with your food to a whole new level, actually. Please kill him. Just, you could simply A-click the army into the enemy base, lose it all, replace it, and then still queue up 2 more replacement armies. You're messing with his feelings, man. Like, you're giving Tanke false hope here. You know, this is like me being like, oh man, I really hope we're gonna get like a big Age of Empires 4 LAN event this year. And someone's like, you never know, it could happen. And then they just leave. That's how this makes him feel. This is unfair to him. Just kill him. Tanke, by some delusion, still believes there's a chance here. I can't believe Tower Elephants actually work. You've been trying to kill him? Yeah, I can really see how hard you're working to kill that mining camp and lumber camp. It's really killing him, man. But you got it. Hunting cabin down. Hooah. Okay, that is bonkers. I didn't even think to look for that because I just assumed. And I made an ass out of myself. He doesn't even have chemistry. What? That is wild. Wait. So Philly. Remember that whole thing? It's like, I think you can beat Roost just by building archers and Limitan in the late game. Yeah, probably if they don't get the biggest tech advantage. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, the crazy part is that he's still killing you without chemistry. Sorry, did I say killing? Killing these people, not killing you. Sorry, sir, I forgot. You've got 20,000 food straight in the bank still. Tanke, now I'm going to dive even deeper, but this is where actually the Howdahs, the Tower Elephants do a lot. Remember, the way that this works is actually the Tower Elephants don't need the foreign engineering company to get the upgrades. They get the upgrades anyway. So that's kind of an interesting element, is like if you don't go foreign engineering company, funnily enough, going elephants does make sense compared to the alternative choices. I can't believe this game is still going. We're 57 minutes into this game. This came at Philly's recommendation. It didn't come with a warning about losing brain cells, though. There should be a game mechanic called Unleash the Hounds. In the event that you are capable of queuing up 300 plus units without having them in the field, the game should just say, and release them all. And if your PC's too crap to survive that, sorry, that's what PC elitism is for. I was about to say police elitism is for. I don't even know what that would mean. You're not a cop. I've been a cop for 20 years. Would actually just love to see maybe some sort of attempt to snipe the trade. Like, this is the thing. Tanke is really just holding on because of the Streltsy. So, if we build those Sipahi... guys, we already know he's not going to build Sipahi. Because, you know, every time you build a Sipahi, that's a Tower Elephant you could have built. No wonder elephants are going extinct. Imagine how fast these elephants would trial. Don't forget the intimidating plus signs above their heads. And the non-stop gulping. Oh my god. That plus 2 HP is going to make a real big difference on 780 HP. Have you even used Triumph once? Wait, no, I'm like, you've never repaired it. Oh, no. Can I just really emphasize how incredibly hilarious it would be if Philisberto lost to a landmark snipe now? Like, I wouldn't let him live it down. I'd be there. Every time we'd have Philly in a cast, it's like, oh, keep an eye on your landmarks. Because, okay, here's the comical thing. Hear me out. If I was tanky and I saw that you built all these elephants, could I not just build 70 horsemen, 80 horsemen, 90 horsemen, and rush your landmarks? Right? What are you going to do when I do that if your elephants are, like, here? Because you can't trade quicker. And you can't run back. Wait, no, guys, he can triumph. Of course, my bad. Elephant triumph will get him back. Oh, damn, guys. We have basically got full Dumbo counter now. It's bombards and then Streltsy. Or as I like to refer to it, gun meet bigger gun. Philly, this would be the perfect time to go survive. The gun is out. Backstab's coming in though. Philly. Ooh, he needs to commit. You can't shuffle around this. You gotta go in. Drive by from the tower elephants. Varangian on the backside are getting cleared up. The Limitane coming in now. And that's gonna be able to break in. So Siege is gonna start to get sniped down. Tanky. I don't think he's gonna be able to hold this area. The tower elephants, the weird part is if Philly just target the Streltsy, he'd be doing a lot better right now. But instead, the auto aggro meant that they were attacking Siege work Siege. What? The gulps of the elephants are coming from the guys on the top when they're realizing how bad their general is at directing them. He's like, no, oh god, he's getting us killed. This is such a ridiculous game. How many elephants have died now? 12? 15? Once upon a time, I was a kid who watched depressing Disney stories, and if an animal died, I shed a tear. The idea of Dumbo ever being imprisoned or hurt broke my heart. I don't know who that kid is anymore. I'm numb to the sound of elephants. I mean, I don't care about humans. Abbasid's already guaranteed that a long time ago. Okay, so guys, I feel like Deja Vu's hitting. We've been here before. Tanky is once again overextending beyond his means. He has, to his credit, built for production. It's just now he's literally fighting the same distance away that he was when he was running from here to here. Instead, it's just from here to here. So, you've basically traded one form of torture for the exact same torture in a different city. No, Dumbo! Hear me out, guys. We need to make elephants like full-on bombers, right? When they fall over, they crush anything they land on. So you can just full-on kamikaze them into Streltsy, and then they fall over them. And if they fall over 4 of them, they basically... Oh, sorry, not 4, more than that, isn't it? It'd be like 5. If they fall on 5, they basically pay for themselves. There you go. Archers. Whoa, hold up. Hold up. We gotta push through. I feel like a midwife who's been here for an hour going, push! Only in game terms, it's like been 20 years. But finally, congratulations! It's an archer! Streltsy count is low now. And production is up. Like, this is the difference now, right? Limitane pushing alongside this, range format behind it that can actually move. This should be where Philisberto starts breaking through. Because Tanky doesn't really have enough gold to mass Streltsy again. A giant catapult that tosses elephants. I already know what the line for that's going to be. It's going to be the stronghold guy, but instead of going, I hope they like beef, it's going to be, I hope they like Dumbo. Mango's in play again. Philly, have you ever considered this thing called a springhold? Nah, dude. Philly's one of those new gen gamers, and Springald has the word old in it, so you wouldn't build it. Who needs Springalds anyway? These are Springalds. Springalds shoot giant spears. These guys have giant spears. So just drop your shield wall and do this. Such a dumb unit. Oh, what's that? Trying to run away. Don't mind me. I'm just infantry that's almost as quick as Ona Bagisha, only doubly tanky. This game is showing what happens when people decide to fight in one spot for 60 minutes. Yes, no, but let's call that correctly as it is, my dear. This is what happens when two people decide to fight in one spot for 60 minutes, but occasionally they change the spot they fight in, but it's still the same fight with the same distance. Well, let's look at the positives, actually. Philisberto isn't holding on to 8,000 level anymore, right? He's averaging about 2,000 to 3,000 at any given time. He's queued up 4 more elephants. He's also now adding in Kara siphons. Wait, have you built a proxy base? I think you just... Yeah. Oh, baby. All right, here we go. Siege Workshop's going up. I've never been so excited because it means we're getting to the end of the game. It's finally happening, guys. After an hour and 5 minutes, someone in this game has said, should probably attack somewhere else as well. You can think about a wonder? Nah, dude, he needs the stone. I am a little bit surprised that we've only got fine-tuned guns, all these techs coming in now, considering how many bombards Tanke has used. Hold up. Philly. Philly, yes. 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 This is what I wanted. My birthday present came early. Are you actually going to use it? Guys, Numeri is actually a really strong tech, and it baffles me how many people sleep on it. A 15% damage buff that you can saturate over 50 units with just 3 cataphracts is an insanely good exchange. It's smart. Think about the damage increase for archers as well. 15% more damage on these guys. They hit 13, right? So adding an extra 15, you go up to like 15 damage. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've got 50 archers wailing on tanky Streltsy, it's a huge difference. Is that coming in? Oh my god. Surround? Tanky! He hasn't got any good front line here. The Streltsy are having to stand their ground. Wow. Talk about timing there. Tanky able to clear up the siege again. Oh, sorry. Tanky about to lose the siege again. Philisberto about to clear it up. And this is becoming more and more difficult to replace. Wait, how much trade now? Oh, Jesus, he's not going to spend the olive oil. He's got 26 traders. So, Philly, what lesson can we take from this game? It's that Sapahi's pretty good on a neutral trader post, right? Like, if you had to play this game back and make one change, it would be that, right? Now we know. No, we knew. Actually, Anatan had a really good game in a recent tournament where he utilized that on Lipany to destroy his opponent early game. I'm beginning to wonder if this game truly will ever end. You guys don't have anywhere to be tonight, right? I just want to check. The elephant's back again. Where are the car siphons, actually? Okay, they're making it burn. They're ushering this crap. Problem is, it's 4-5 palisade walls. You'd think they'd burn them quicker. That's not how it works, though. However, they are all shuffling north. No, wait, what? Oh, thank God. I thought Tanky was just going to mirror the move. So he's going to keep the fight here, send the Rams in north. Golf claps. And what is this unit you're building, Philisberto? How do those work? I swear I've seen someone in this game using them. Maybe it is time to stop building the elephants. I think you found the correct replacement for them. I mean, this is kind of the dumb thing, right? Like, if you were Delhi here, you would have wished you just went hand cannoneers. But the reason this made sense is, like, he has all this olive oil he needs to spend on something, right? So you just have to think of these as, like, I want to say an expensive Limitane, but it's not. In that it's an extra unit of resource you get for free, right? So it's just an effective tank. Look at that. Spring in hand. I know, right? I've never seen this comp before. In the late game, it's very revolutionary. I'm sorry, Philly. We tease you. Bless you. I mean, this game has cost me brain cells, so it balances out. Village on the backside. Oh my god. The classic 1 hour and 9-minute eco raid. You know, the funny thing is, like, Philizbo done this sort of stuff early on with Cataphracts was really good, right? And it's almost like when he lost the Cataphracts, he's like, I've lost my identity. What other unit do I have that moves almost as quickly as Cataphracts? Behold, the very balanced Limitane that ironically know no limits. Tank is starting to scramble as well. He's chasing after this, which is buying space. In the meantime, Rams have broken in, keeps it down, and this is it. This is the end of the road, I think, for Tanky. He hasn't got reserves. All right, I'm going to call for a weird mod design here. We're going to call it Nuclear Disarmament. You know how, like, in the Cold War, I'll get rid of 10 nukes if you get rid of 10 nukes? You should be like, I'll get rid of 2,000 food, and then it pulls 2,000 food from your opponent. Right? Right? You can negative their ass. Okay, that's actually a terrible idea, because that's going to make the game more macro-focused. But for real, like, when you've got 34,000 food, for the love of God, spam faster. I don't really know what to take away from this game. I feel like a lot of the time, we have a lesson to impart upon the viewers, right? Like, oh, if this person had just done that different, if this person had just done... I don't know where to begin with this. I might just pull out a scroll and roll it across the floor. I think entertainment value, this one weirdly enough did deliver. One lesson I give Philly is Palatine School is kind of overrated. I don't feel like Palatine School was needed here. I think Foreign Engineering Company would have helped him a lot more. And that's kind of apparent by the fact that he was holding over to 8,000 olive oil at one stage. And is once again approaching that point. But Dive now coming in on the eco. I mean, this is where Tanky is going to have irreparable damage, right? To his game and probably to his brain from being exposed to this for an hour and 10 minutes. Felisberto looks like he's going to get the win now. Palatine is good, but he went imp without the eco to support it. Agreed. Agreed. I think we even said that at the time, right? It's like Palatine School is almost like you're going to the roulette table in this, right? When you rush Imperial with it. In a way, Palatine School makes sense when you want to play into Hippodrome and you play Keshet Contract. Because I genuinely think out of the three contracts, Foreign Engineering Company gets the least value with this contract, with Eastern. At the same time, it wasn't building Keshets anymore. Well, this is definitely going in the memory bank as one of the weirdest Byzantine games we've had. And in fairness to Felisberto, he did say it was going to get weird. Tanky, I think at this stage, the eco damage is too high, right? The trade has been shrunk down to 19. You're about to lose control of the trade area because that's where you're being pushed. We're going to stay on this 2x speed here because this is where I think Tanky is going to reach that slow attritional death. He needs to move the army north side. By the time he does, Felisberto's army is already going to be bigger. On top of that, Philly, I'm hoping, is going to build production to make this easier. Why would he do that? I do love this idea that, like, earlier on I was like, you know, these type of games, it makes sense to build full production so you can end the game. And then Philly's like, yes! Also Philly. Reminder, he is going to the far north side of the map. Let me know what you think of these type of games, guys. I mean, the commentary style was quite different to what we'd usually do, but then again, I mean, I feel like we get like this when it becomes more of a meme fiesta game. Do you guys like these less than perfect games? Do you prefer to see your beasties Lucifrons all the time? Or do you really like whatever this was? Murica. This was Murica. Food and oil, guys. Food and oil. Credit Tanky, actually. Like, he's done a decent job of holding on so far. But I think the numbers are speaking for themselves. Less than perfect's okay, but over an hour? I mean, this is one of those weird things where, like, it's been entertaining, but I think the last 10 minutes especially has just been, like you can see it's over, right? It's not to say Tanky couldn't miraculously recover, but statistically the likelihood is nil. Breakthrough on the center side. Looks like we've got cannon emplacements coming. Don't you just love the fact that Byzantines get infinite stone? You know, I'm just going to say, I actually think Gorge would be a better map if they removed about 50% of the wood on it. This map has way too much wood and is way too easily mid-wallable. But then again, I'm an anti-wood fetishist, you know? I don't know what that says about me personally. I just don't like too much wood. Okay, don't read into that too much, chat. I think wood is usually the reason you get very tediously grindy games. There's a lot of safe wood as well. Oh my god! Unleash the hounds! 14 cataphracts just spawned. New Mary buff comes in. Wow, what a great looking unit. When was the last time you saw 14 cataphracts spawn and then despawn so quickly? And then hilariously enough, it's not the Katas that win the fight now. It's basically the Limitane. 14 cataphracts, 0 impact. That's not true. There was a huge impact when their bodies hit the floor. If only they had Triumph. I know, right? Like just when you guys to imagine Philosbo standing here right now, and he's just going like this. Why won't it work? Why no Triumph? What's wrong? Oh my god. Alright, whatever. Like, subscribe, comment down below. I mean, you sure as hell got your length and entertainment value. Credit to him. This may have been a long game, but while we may have lost many brain cells and possibly a few viewers along the line, compared to a lot of the hour plus games we've seen, I'll give it to him. This one had a bunch of swings and roundabouts. Was it clean? Was it optimal? Hell no. But that's why I like to remind people that this guy is a top 200 ranked player, as is the other. You may get used to watching BC, you may get used to watching Lucifrons, but it shows you just how attainable, with a little bit of optimization, high ranks are. So keep on grinding, and maybe one day, you'll be able to do mass elephant olive oil spamming too. Get me out.